these young men nowadays want submissive providers. I found that shit very funny.
Yeah. I think I saw it. You're submissive. Ilitembea.
Yeah, submissive providers. Because kitambo, you know, wanasemanga ati, you know, that they don't want to be like their mothers, they want to drink like their fathers.
Yeah.
But then you ask yourself, your fathers were providing everything in that house.
Yeah.
Like your mom didn't even know how much meat costed. Because traditionally the father of the house that butchering your root, like literally bringing home the bacon. Literally bringing home the bacon. That lady didn't know how much the electricity bill was. She didn't. It was none of her business. It was paid by her husband. So when the man comes and says, I'm the head of this house, he's the head of the house.
Yeah.
Because everything, the lights are on because of him. The kids are in school because of him. Their uniform has... That lady's dresses and her braids are uto to lines, to the lines that our mother used to be shukwad back in the day. It's him. Paka lotion. You know?
Yeah.
So when the man comes and says, in my house, chokweli ni kwake.
Yeah.
And that's why that submissiveness came naturally. Lakini someone wants you to share everything. Then says, why would you submit?
Bro, maybe the only submission ni mkinyongwa. Submit.
That's one for your wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, 1, 2.
Then eventually, unakubali.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah. But it's a very... don't you feel like it's a very interesting time to live? Why? Because the modern woman is educated. The modern man is educated but was raised in an old-fashioned way. So now sasa kuna hiyo intersection. Modern and the past.
I honestly feel, and now these are my feminists,
I
think the patriarchy, people need to stop thinking that when you mention the patriarchy, we're talking about men.
Yeah, okay.
Because some of the most stringent upholders of the patriarchy are women, not even men.
Yeah.
But the disservice that the patriarchy has done men is keeping you guys in this mindset of tradition. But on this other side, women have really progressed.
Yeah.
But then you're stuck in 1963 at independence. Sisi tuko now in Ruto's presidency.
Yeah.
You guys are still talking about Jomo Kenyatta and how life used to be there. And so that the disservice that the patriarchy has done is, number one, leaving all the mentorship of children to women. And a woman cannot mentor a boy, a man. But men, because that was how traditionally, because the man is not home, he has to go and work to provide for all these people. Right? So there's no time for him to come and sit down with his sons. The childcare was left up to women, Sindio. But then now things have to. So now these roles, what people want is for them to be done 50.
Yeah.
So now these older men have dropped the ball when it comes to mentoring, teaching them, life has changed. This is how you deal with these new fashioned. That's where the ball has been dropped. And that's why you're seeing young men struggling to figure out how life is with these women who are nothing. Yeah. That is the disservice. I feel like mentorship, as you were mentored, I'm not going to let you, there's a lot of mentorship. But how many times did your uncles come and talk to you, how you're a man, how to, you know, as you were taught.
Yeah, how to be a lady.
Yeah, but you're just told that by virtue of having a penis, the world is yours. But okay, you've been given the world, but you're not taught how to and how it's evolving and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And that's where the disconnect and what you mentioned, the section. So it's happening, and that's why we see all these gender wars. You see, one of the reasons is I can't fight someone wose mind is up.
Yeah.
So I chose to mind my business and moisturize.
Yeah.
Drink my water.
Cause, but I feel like the modern man spends more time with his kids than, or at least the modern urban man.
Yeah. And you see, we're starting to see that change. But for you guys, you know, guys starting from the age of 20 upwards, while your fathers...
No. Me, Buddha, I always give the, I don't know.
Give him his flowers.
Yeah, no, I always say like, Buddha alikuwa old school in his way. But you see, my dad died when I was 16. Yeah. So it's like, he never saw the man I became. But now as a kid, alikuwaga msewa, akikuwa kwa haoni, karibia remote iko like Buddha
That
was
thing, that
serious.
old school men, where like when your dad comes home, all of you scatter like
Yeah,
cockroaches.
So Buddha si akiwa sober we'd scatter. When he was drunk he was like now a dad. We'd chill, he'd make jokes, he was funny, he was
It's interesting.
But
It's usually
akiwa-
the other way around.
see
Actually,
yeah.
sijaisikia hiyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See Buddha akiwa
When he
drunk.
was mellow,
Yeah.
he was less melodramatic.
Maybe your dad was a stoner.
You know, the funny thing that I learned during that time was no he was not.
Mellow is
No, he was not. But ilifanya nika notice like when you smoke and you're drunk, you get more drunk. I learned that from my dad. Because now he'd come home drunk and he'd be like this fun guy and then akiwasha fegi. Because remember that was before to do second hand smoke. So he'd just smoke in the house.
Yeah.
And he'd just get more drunk and then he'd pass out. And then the next day, because he used to struggle with alcoholism. So we never had that like when he's sober, like we sit down and what. So do I feel like men were mentored? I don't feel that generation was mentored.
About you, what was your relationship like with
His dad is still alive, so they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, sit down talk.
Yeah.
It was more of I would say method acting. Eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you
Just-
mirror what you see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they didn't use much words like, I'm here at this time.
I see what you're saying.
Where were you?
Naona venye unasema.
Yes. Kitumwa school fees, you go to your
Yeah,
dad. He's
okay.
available. So him being available, I think.
But also that's a good thing because again he's mirroring for you good
yeah.
behavior.
I would say.
But then also I
Yeah.
think the conversations of how do you deal with women?
I don't think so. Mimi sasa
Of course
opinion yangu
Yeah.
inakuaga there's nothing that my dad could have taught me about
to
women.
prepare you.
The same way utani correct, but I don't think there's anything your mom can teach you about men. It's such a different world.
No. Her generation was completely different. If I took into account some of her, she's given me some really good advice, I have to say. But also there's some things that if she tells me I do, I'm like, are you mad? Absolutely not. But there's some advice that she gave me that when I was younger, it was in one ear and out the other. But now that I'm older and I'm in a very committed relationship, one of the things she taught me is, that thing that for like when you're going to ask your dad for something and madhako nakusha hapana si saizi ngoja tu kwanza, that thing for you have to read this man's mood.
Yeah.
And then also picking your battles. Not every time. When you live with someone, lazima akuirritate. Lazima akuudhi. And especially like if you're in each other's space all the time, you get to a point where you find his socks on the floor and you feel like you can commit a murder. You're like, today this man will die in this house. In fact, I'll burn this house with all of us in it.
Yeah.
Because now there's life, umetoka kuchapwa stress na maisha huko nje, and you come in and you find the man's socks or like, and let me ask you, why do men do this? It annoys me.
Kwa tunafaa kuishi kwa jungle. This is
The washing basket ya nguo chafu iko hapa. Unapata socks nizo hizi. Next. Why?
Just appreciate effort. We did.
Umezikaribisha. Yes.
Yeah.
So I keep cheering you on, and one day they'll enter the the basket. So my mom has given me that thing of, it's not every time. You don't fight over small things. Choose your battles. And then when you want something, don't ask directly. You mellow him, you make him the things he likes. You bust it wide open for him a couple of times. Before you know it, it is a title deed.
Yeah.
So when I was like, man, some bullshit. And of course I wouldn't do it the same way because but I see the wisdom. Our mothers were the queens of soft diplomacy.
Yeah.
They knew how to get what they wanted. When you ask, if you sat down and ask your dad who actually runs that house, head of the house, but the decisions, mwenye kusema ni mamako. Ask yourself.
I think nushaiskega nikiwa around mtoi nikiambia like this is your mom's house. Yeah. Like mwambiaga hivyo because there are things where I'm tolerated ikikam to electronics, like the wires are everywhere. I get like those lectures of so
I also don't know kama ushaisikia maybe wasapiro wakisema like mliwelkamiwa, unajua huku si kwangu mwenyewe huku maybe they're referring
so I hear it.
Mwenego kweko.
Oh yeah, my dad used to say this all the time.
Referring to
my mother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mwenye nyumba ako wapi? Yeah.
yeah. But so ulikuwa pia una understand because my way of saying like I cannot take advice from my dad, it's a very shallow way of looking at it. And my shallow way is when my dad was in his 20s, the only way to meet a girl was to meet her physics.
Those
Time yetu you can be talking to 5 women at the same time.
Our generation is the one that really brought the chaos of men to the forefront.
Yeah.
Because before, the only way you could call someone, you can't even use the phone at home because imefungwa the padlock. So you have to go outside to the call box. You can't be there calling at 17. There are not enough hours in the day for that activity. Me sasa uko Facebook, you have windows open. I'm a Tinder.
Yeah.
You know.
Just swiping.
Nili hata Tinder.
Damn it. No, you're not missing much.
Yeah.
It's very chaotic. I was on Tinder for 3 months.
Yeah.
I cannot do it.
Doing what?
I actually went on a date with a very handsome man. He was from Burkina Faso. You don't think Burkina Faso is a real country.
Yeah.
Alafu nipatane. Hey, he was handsome. Woo! I was like, I thought I was being catfished when I saw his photo until I saw him in person. And it turns out he was married.
But see, mi niko nafikia Tinder watu vile yeye anasema mnatida hauju ya sex.
No, it's for sex. And then people are so shameless. Unaweza ona mtu profile picture yake ya Tinder is his wedding photo.
Yes, anakuambia tu.
People are mad.
Si anakuambia tu.
The only thing you'll get is the D, not the ring.
Not commitment.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the girls are out here on these apps that are really trying to find husbands on Tinder. I find it very
that's nini. Like,
girl, get your dick and move on.
Yeah.
Kitaka husband enda kanisa. But even the churchmen are even the most chaotic.
Lakini nashindagwa.
Are you still an atheist? Yes.
Yes, I'm still.
Very much.
Yeah.
You know, he's very chaotic.
My atheism will never go anywhere. Until Yesu atokea nione ndio huyo.
Like, stop, motherfucker.
But for me, for good husbands, sana musema the ones that actually drink and they are less churchy.
Yeah, the ones for church. Yeah. I think you should have someone at church. I can see I've destroyed you.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Hii utokana ni narudi.
Yeah, but wase wa kanisa, the things that shocks women is unaingianga hiyo situation ukiexpect mtu a behave a certain way. Alafu anakushock. This is where the devil is. The devil is in this church. Wow!